Oh, God. Man, the questions you're asking. Stop the tape, will you?
Standard rates, no celebrity markup. The studio engineer, a young guy in his late 20s, looked Eddie up and down. Regular clothes, no entourage. Nothing about him screamed rock legend. The engineer didn't recognize him. "So you want to book studio time?" he asked. "Just so you know, our rates are $150 an hour, and that's for professional sessions. We're not really set up for hobbyists recording garage band demos. Do you have any previous studio experience?" Eddie nodded calmly. "Some experience." The engineer continued, clearly skeptical. "Honestly, inexperienced clients waste a lot of time. They don't know how to work with engineers. They don't understand signal flow. They need their hands held through every step, and that drives the costs way up." He folded his arms. "Are you sure you want professional studio rates?" Eddie smiled slightly. "I think I can handle it. Can I see the live room?" What happened over the next 10 minutes would become the most legendary moment in that studio's history. It was a Wednesday afternoon in July 2008, and Eddie Van Halen needed to record some ideas. He'd been working on new material and wanted to capture it properly, not on a home 4-track, but in a real studio with good equipment. Sure, he could have recorded at his own studio, but sometimes he preferred unfamiliar spaces. Different rooms had different sounds, different acoustics, different vibes, and those differences often sparked new ideas. While searching online, he came across Soundcraft Studios, a mid-level facility in Burbank with solid gear and reasonable rates. When he called to ask about availability, the person on the phone asked for his name. "Eddie V," he replied. He wasn't lying. He just wasn't giving the full story. He wanted to know their normal rates without anyone inflating the price or offering a celebrity discount. Now he was standing in the studio's front lobby while the engineer on duty studied him with barely hidden skepticism. The engineer's name was Tyler Kent. Tyler was good at his job. He'd graduated from a recording arts program, worked as an assistant at several larger studios, and had been the lead engineer at Soundcraft for 2 years.
Are there some guitar players you listen to now? Is there anybody that really catches your ear?
No.
Sounds reasonable.
He understood signal flow, microphone placement, mixing techniques, everything. He was competent, and he knew it. But he'd also dealt with plenty of amateurs who thought recording was easy. People who burned through expensive studio hours while he walked them through basic concepts step by step. So when Tyler saw Eddie, a middle-aged guy in jeans and a t-shirt, no bandmates, no visible equipment, introducing himself as Eddie V, he made a few quick assumptions. "So you want to book studio time?" Tyler repeated. "Just so you know up front, our rate is $150 an hour, and that's for professional sessions. We're not really set up for hobbyists recording garage band demos. This is a working studio with professional-grade equipment." "I understand," Eddie replied calmly. Tyler tilted his head. "Have you recorded before? Do you know how to work with an engineer?" "Some experience," Eddie said mildly. "I've been in studios before." Tyler's expression suggested he'd heard that line many times. "Because honestly," he said, "inexperienced clients waste a lot of time. They don't know how to work with engineers." Sure, he could have recorded at his own studio, but sometimes he preferred unfamiliar spaces. Different rooms had different sounds, different acoustics, different vibes, and those differences often sparked new ideas. While searching online, he came across Soundcraft Studios, a mid-level facility in Burbank with solid gear and reasonable rates. When he called to ask about availability, the person on the phone asked for his name. "Eddie V," he replied. He wasn't lying. He just wasn't giving the full story. He wanted to know their normal rates without anyone inflating the price or offering a celebrity discount. Now he was standing in the studio's front lobby while the engineer on duty studied him with barely hidden skepticism. The engineer's name was Tyler Kent. Tyler was good at his job. He'd graduated from a recording arts program, worked as an assistant at several larger studios, and had been the lead engineer at Soundcraft for 2 years. He understood signal flow, microphone placement, mixing techniques, everything. He was competent, and he knew it. But he'd also dealt with plenty of amateurs who thought recording was easy. People who burned through expensive studio hours while he walked them through basic concepts step by step. So when Tyler saw Eddie, a middle-aged guy in jeans and a t-shirt, no bandmates, no visible equipment, introducing himself as Eddie V, he made a few quick assumptions. "So you want to book studio time?" Tyler repeated. "Just so you know up front, our rate is $150 an hour, and that's for professional sessions. We're not really set up for hobbyists recording garage band demos. This is a working studio with professional-grade equipment." "I understand," Eddie replied calmly. Tyler tilted his head. "Have you recorded before? Do you know how to work with an engineer?" "Some experience," Eddie said mildly. "I've been in studios before." Tyler's expression suggested he'd heard that line many times. Eddie asked a few technical questions, the kind that suggested he actually understood what he was talking about. Tyler's skepticism began to soften. "Okay," he admitted. "Maybe you're not a complete beginner, but there's a difference between knowing gear names and actually working efficiently in a studio." He leaned against the console. "Recording is about more than equipment knowledge. It's about having your parts ready, knowing the sound you want, being able to play consistently, take after take." He pointed toward the live room. "A lot of guitarists think they're ready to record. Then the red light comes on, and everything falls apart." "The red light?" Eddie asked. "Recording light," Tyler said. "Red light fever. People who play fine at home suddenly can't play when they know they're being recorded." He tapped the console. "It's psychological. Happens to amateurs all the time." Eddie nodded thoughtfully. "That must be frustrating to work with." "It is," Tyler said. "That's why I'm being upfront about it. If you're going to freeze up and need 20 takes for every part, this isn't the right studio." "Our rates are for clients who can perform." Eddie looked at him. "What if I told you I probably won't need 20 takes?" Tyler chuckled. "Everyone says that." He crossed his arms. "Then they get in here and reality hits." He paused. "Look, I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm just managing expectations. If you want to book time, I need to know you can actually handle a professional session." He gestured toward the live room. "Can you play the parts you want to record right now, without warm-up?" Eddie smiled slightly. "I could probably play something right now, yes." Tyler pointed toward the guitar rack. "Pick a guitar." He stepped aside. "Play me something. Show me you can actually perform under pressure. If you can play cleanly, with good timing, something that shows real technique, I'll book you the time." He folded his arms again. "But if you can't, I'm going to suggest you practice a little more and come back later." "I can play most of it in 1 or 2 takes," Eddie said. "I know the sounds I want, and I can work efficiently." He gave Tyler a small grin. "Because as you correctly guessed, I do have some studio experience." Tyler laughed, still a little embarrassed. "Some studio experience? You've probably spent more time in recording studios than I've been alive." "Probably," Eddie admitted, "but that doesn't make your concerns invalid." He leaned back in the chair. "Red light fever is real. Inefficient sessions waste a lot of money. You were doing your job exactly the way you should." They booked the session for the following week. Eddie insisted on paying the normal rate. $150 an hour, he said. "That's what you quoted. That's what I'm paying them." Before leaving, he spent nearly another hour talking with Tyler about recording techniques, sharing ideas about getting better guitar tones and explaining a few unconventional approaches he'd discovered during decades in the studio. For Tyler, it was like getting a private master class. After Eddie left, Tyler immediately called his boss. "You're not going to believe who just booked studio time." Within days, the story spread through Burbank's recording community. The engineer who had warned Eddie Van Halen that he might not be ready for professional studio sessions instantly became a local legend. Tyler eventually started telling the story himself, usually with a lot of self-deprecating humor. "I learned 2 things that day," he would say. First, never judge a musician's ability by their appearance or by the name they use when booking a session. And second, Eddie Van Halen has more studio experience in one afternoon than I'll probably gain in my entire career. He'd pause and shake his head. And he was still humble enough to accept my skepticism without getting offended. The session the following week went exactly the way Eddie had predicted. 3 hours, mostly first takes, completely professional. But what impressed Tyler the most wasn't just the playing. He knew exactly what he wanted, Tyler later said. He communicated clearly. He was prepared. He made my job easy. That's what separates true professionals from people who just play well. Then he would add one final line. Eddie Van Halen was the easiest session I've ever engineered. When Eddie passed away in 2020, Tyler posted a tribute online. Along with it, he shared the story and a few photos from that 2008 session. His message ended with a reflection he never forgot. "I told Eddie Van Halen he might not be ready for professional studio rates. I warned him about red light fever. I even suggested he might need to practice more. He responded by playing Eruption perfectly on a random guitar, then booking 3 hours and recording everything in mostly first takes. Then Tyler wrote the lesson that stayed with him for the rest of his career. Professionalism isn't about image. It's about preparation, skill, and respect for everyone's time." The following week, Eddie returned right on time. No entourage, no assistants. Just the same jeans, the same quiet confidence, and a small guitar case in his hand. Tyler was already in the control room when Eddie walked in. This time, the atmosphere was completely different. The awkwardness from their first meeting had faded, replaced by something closer to professional respect. "Ready to work?" Eddie asked. Tyler nodded. "Absolutely." They set up quickly. Eddie plugged into the Marshall again, dialed in a tone within seconds, and stepped into the live room. Tyler watched through the glass as Eddie adjusted the guitar strap and rolled the volume knob slightly. "All right," Eddie said through the talkback. "Let's just capture the idea first." Tyler armed the track. The red recording light turned on. The same red light Tyler had warned him about. Eddie played the first riff cleanly, confidently, like he'd already recorded it 100 times. The part locked perfectly into the tempo. No hesitation, no second guessing. When the take ended, Tyler looked at the screen. "That's honestly perfect," he said. "Cool," Eddie replied casually. "Let's do one more just in case." The second take was just as good. They moved through the session exactly the way Eddie predicted. Guitar parts came together quickly. Ideas that might have taken other musicians hours were finished in minutes. Tyler barely had to stop the session at all. Every time the red light came on, Eddie delivered. No nerves, no frustration, just focus. Between takes, they talked about tone, pickup positions, and how subtle changes in picking could completely change the feel of a riff. For Tyler, it still felt surreal. He wasn't just recording a guitarist, and he was recording the guitarist who had changed how the instrument was played. 3 hours passed faster than either of them expected. Tyler saved the final take and leaned back in his chair. "That's everything," he said. Eddie stepped out of the live room and walked into the control room. "See," Eddie said with a grin. "No 20 takes." Tyler laughed. "You weren't kidding." He paused for a moment, then said something he'd been thinking about the whole session. "You know, after everything that happened last week, I figured this might be intimidating." Eddie shrugged. "It's just music." Then he added something Tyler never forgot. "The trick isn't being the best player in the room. The trick is being prepared before you walk in." Eddie packed up his guitar, shook Tyler's hand, and headed toward the door. "Thanks for the session," he said. Tyler nodded. "Anytime." As the door closed behind him, Tyler looked around the control room and smiled to himself. It had started as the most awkward moment of his career, but it ended up being one of the most memorable. A reminder that legends don't always look like legends when they walk through the door. Sometimes they're just a guy in jeans asking about studio rates. And sometimes the best musicians in the world are also the most humble. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories from music history. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.